Well guys, now it's the end of November. I've been getting out and doing a lot of hunting. I've taken a lot of vacation time off work to get out and do a lot of hunting, but haven't had much time to edit videos. So this isn't the typical style of videos you guys see from us, but I wanted to showcase some of the good encounters that I've had so far. I actually took some time off in the beginning of November to try to really start chasing after some of those bucks before they first got on the first available does. And here in the Midwest, in Iowa anyway, it was extremely hot. The weather just wasn't cooperating. It was highs in the 70s and we were getting nothing but south winds. I ended up actually canceling vacation time and saving some of it for later in the month here. But this hunt you're gonna see here is a hunt that I actually had with Hunter on the 2nd of November, where we had a pretty nice buck come within 70, 80 yards of the stand. All right guys, so it's the afternoon of the 2nd of November.
It's the rut, baby.
We're out here on private land this afternoon, going in to a spot. It's kind of a ridge top, and we're gonna sit off the ridge. The ridge top has like clover and just kind of a little bit of browse, but there's a bunch of timber to our west, and we got kind of a west-southwest wind this afternoon. And my thought is deer are going to be cruising the bottom in there. It's kind of like a creek or a ravine, so deer are hopefully going to cruise that bottom like they were doing a couple mornings ago when I sat it. And Hunter actually spooked a deer, I think 2 weeks ago now. Hunter's with me, that's why I've got a cameraman. But Hunter actually spooked a deer 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a really big buck. So yeah, there's big bucks in here. We just gotta make the right moves on them. So hopefully we were making the right moves. We've got 2 stands tonight and 4 sticks because the wind's kind of iffy. So we're gonna try to get really high up and be on this kind of up higher on the ridge to hopefully make sure our wind isn't bad. So
Swirling.
yeah, because it's kind of going all over the place, but we're already getting into fresh sign. Let's go kill him.
He's right there.
He's probably like 145.
He had good forward though.
Yeah.
The footage is bright. You'll be able to see if you made a mistake. I don't think you could have shot him where he came out though.
No way. That's way. It was like probably 70 yards. That's too far. So that buck was a really nice buck, and even by watching the footage back, I sometimes wonder if I did make the right choice of not trying to, make more of an attempt to bring him in closer. But overall, I don't think he probably would have come in for a shot. But overall, that was a really fun hunt, and it was always good to see a good mature buck on his feet. Now we're going to jump into November 11th, the first day of my next different series of vacation time, I guess I'd call it. But actually timed a cold front just right after all the heat, after the big main heat wave. I decided to time it just right and take time off, and it aligned perfectly with Veterans Day to be able to go in and have a really great hunt, seeing a couple really nice bucks, and just not one that I wanted to shoot. So we'll jump right into the action and show you guys what we see. All right, guys, so it's the morning of Wednesday, November 11th, Veterans Day. Thank you to all the vets who've served the country and really allowed us to, not only me, but all of us, to be able to go out and enjoy hunting and enjoy all the things that we get to do. It wouldn't be for you guys and gals, we wouldn't be able to do these things, so thank you. But I'm set up today. I can't remember the last time I was actually hunting Veterans Day. Past couple of years I've tagged out before now. But it's always been a really good time to catch a big buck. We just had a cold front push through yesterday. It's been extremely hot here in the Midwest. It's been 70 degrees. We can't buy a north wind. It's just been south and hot. And I was actually off last week hunting, and the movement I could tell was kind of slowed down, and I just didn't want to keep blowing spots because most of our stuff isn't set up for south winds, even on hanging hunts. The properties we hunt just aren't ideal for south winds. And so we opted to leave, go back to work, and I timed the cold front pretty much just right. It was like 70 degrees 2 days ago, and then yesterday it rained all day long. Then it got super windy, and today it's extremely calm. So I got in here a little late. Shouldn't have been in here late, just dumb. But I got in here a little late, but I already saw a doe further to the south of me, kind of where I came in. So I'm set up here in a private land pinch. Got a creek right below me, pretty much. Big hillside behind me, and a big pasture field to my right of me here. Big timber and a creek. I'm hoping bucks are going to be cruising this creek, and if they do, I'm going to have a shot at them. So I'll have to sit tight and see what happens. Okay guys, so it's about 8:30 now. Seen quite a bit of action moving later to the morning today. We're gonna still stay here for a while. The wind's still been pretty good. Actually had that, I'm gonna call him a questionable shooter. I saw a movement up top on this hillside behind me. And it looked like a button buck, and then all of a sudden I glanced and saw that there was a buck behind it in first glance. I knew there's a lot of tines, and I pulled up the binoculars. And he was a good buck. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do. If he would come in, he was still a long ways away. So I kind of worked off and I grunted at him again. Or I grunted at him. He ended up working down. And then he moved off back up the hill again. And then I looked back behind me and there's deer in this pasture. And so when I didn't see the buck again, I grunted again. And he came down to probably I'd say 80 yards. And he was on my left, and my camera arm's on my right, so I didn't get as much footage because I was trying to figure out how big he was. I was trying to figure out where he was at in the viewfinder because I'm self-filming, and it just didn't work out. He ended up working that way, and I saw another doe. So I assumed that they probably went over that hill, but couldn't really tell how big he was. He was kind of like that borderline, he was really nice. He had a lot of tines, but he didn't have the width that I would think he would need to really be pushing close to the 60s. So I'm guessing he's probably low to mid 50s at most. So a really good buck, but I'm want to hold out for a little bit bigger this year. Keep stepping up the deers. But it's a good deer for sure. Well, I had just gotten done with my pity party because the wind was really bad for a while. And so I was just going to get out of here because the wind was blowing up in kind of the area where I thought there would be some deer movement. I took my camera arm off and camera was away and everything. And I was just about ready to send my bow down to start getting out of here. And I did one final scan, and this is the reason why you don't want to just, if you're going to get down, you want to always make sure that there's nothing else coming in. And I looked up and there was a buck probably 150 yards away to the south of me coming up the creek. And I first saw his one side and I was like, yep, he's a shooter. And then I realized that he was broken, which saved his life because I probably was going to shoot him if he had both sides. He literally came right under the stand, and then he was in the creek, walking the creek for a little ways, and then he popped up out of the creek, like right where I walked up out of the creek. Had no idea I was here until he got like 10 yards from me. If I wanted to have shot him, he would have been shot at that point. But since I had to swing the camera in between me and the tree, I was out away from the tree. Usually I like to get as tight to the tree as I possibly can so you blend in better. And at that point, he could skyline me, and he knew something was up, and that's when he ran off. And he ran downwind of me, and he blew twice. Like, my wind's been blowing that direction all morning, and I've been contemplating on if it's actually staying at this level or if it's sucking up above their heads. And he just kind of he blew because he saw me. He blew twice, and then he just casually walked off. So he wasn't too spooked. So I'm gonna keep watching the wind here and decide what I do. If bucks are bucks are gonna move all day at this point. I was just getting down to possibly move because the wind problems. So I'm gonna watch the wind here and decide what I'm gonna do next.
So that buck actually came in at around 11 o'clock. I was actually packing up again. I actually took my camera arm off the tree when I noticed that buck coming through the trees, and I thought he was a shooter at first. He was a really good solid buck, another solid buck, and I keep joking with Hunter and Heidi that when people see some of this footage, they're gonna think I'm crazy for not shooting some of these deer, but I have a goal in mind and I've got an idea of what I want this year, and I'm really kind of steadfast and stubborn on trying to reach that goal. Well guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Let us know if you guys like this style a little bit, just kind of showing you guys some of the big bucks we're encountering. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hopefully your guys' seasons has been great. We'd love to see what you guys have seen, what you guys have shot. Share it with us and we'll feature you guys and show some photos of some people who shot some deer. So thanks for watching and we'll see you by the next one.